Hi everyone, I think they're gone now. So I decided to have my supper and then finish my talk. Maybe I'll do my talk at midnight. Maybe then they won't be able to put calls through or, have people come up to do the vacuuming. But anyway, what I was saying was we have to look at what is our starting point. So either we know that we are created by the Lord and we are good, or we see ourselves as bad. So that's the starting point. And it's not arrogance, it's Catholic spirituality. It's in the Bible. So you have to look at what is your starting point. And then from that starting point, look at how man disobeys God. And then there's this call for us to come back to the Lord and to come back to his love. And his love is what makes us whole. You can turn to a lot of things. You can turn to alcohol, you can turn to food, you can turn to drugs, you can turn to cutting yourself, but all those things are only going to hurt you more in the long run. So that's our starting point, and that's what the scriptures are about for me today. It's about turning back to God's love and turning back to accepting his love for us. And through that love, we transform the world. And we take action. We take small actions. We don't have to be a CEO of a company. You don't have to lead a worldwide organization. It's just about the small things that we do every day. And that's what some of our great saints have taught us, like Saint Teresa of Lisieux, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, Saint Catherine of Siena, and the male saints as well. Saint Dominic Savio, Saint Francis Xavier. It's about the small things we do every day. Even cooking your own food at home, that can be an act of love. Cleaning your place, taking a daily shower, all those things are blessings from God. And when we do our daily examen, that's what we do. We look at our blessings, we look at areas we need God's help with, and we ask God to help us to do better in the next day, the day that's ahead. And I like the scriptures for today. The scriptures were good to read, and to let them touch our hearts and touch our lives and transform our lives. And that's what I focus on. And also, especially for those of us who grew up without our dads. For me, I cherish those memories. I kept them in my heart. But it meant that our mothers had to be even more strong for us. And, like for my mom, she had her own cars. She had a Peugeot, she had a Datsun, she had her own cars, she had her own wardrobe. She had lots of nice perfumes. She wasn't like a pauper, and she had a lot of support in the community. But there were times we went hungry. There were times where, we didn't know how we were going to manage, how we were going to survive. And so for us as women, we hold on to not only our saints and the women in the Bible, we hold on to our own role models in our lives. And that's why, for me, I didn't feel like, I can't work 2 jobs, or I can't work 3 jobs, because it was modeled for me with my godmother, and I didn't find it hard. God gave me that blessing. I enjoyed work. I enjoyed working and studying and doing my papers. I don't like this, sitting at home and not doing anything. Like, okay, I clean my place, I keep it clean, I cook, I go to the church, but I don't like not earning my own income. Because my mother and my godmother, my aunts, all of the women in the family worked. And my grandmother, she had her own business. She started selling curry and rice from home. You can't do that here because you need licenses and all that. And if you're on your own, it's not possible. It would be very hard to do something like that. But it's not like I didn't try. I tried to sell my products through Amazon. I tried to sign up to be an associate with places like Fanatics, Amazon, and I've tried different avenues. Whatever avenues I can try, I try. I was a representative for Primerica, so I used to sell insurance products. And whatever I can do to earn a living, I go out there and I do it, and I do it well. So I'm looking for that next opportunity, and also sharing the scriptures. Some people make a living doing this, posting their videos, and they get followers, and then they get invited to speak at events. So that's why I'm also posting mine and giving my own life examples and examples of how others have helped to bring about human rights, and to say that that struggle is not something that happened in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. It's happening right now. Right now, multi-billion-dollar companies like Teleperformance are refusing to give wage increases, or when they do give, after 2 years, they give me 50 cents. And then they say, oh, we do value you. No, you don't. Because some of your other campaigns are paying over $55,000 a year. Some of your other campaigns are paying double what I earn on an annual basis. So please don't tell me that you value me and that I'm a trusted employee and that all these things, because it means nothing. Because at the end of the day, I've got bills to pay, I've got family to think about, I've got responsibilities in the community. So all these multi-billion-dollar companies, when they get fined and everything, I'm not surprised, because you don't treat your employees properly, you don't value us, you don't give us good wage increases, and then you make a big deal out of it when we're earning $30,000 and you have to give us a few dollars extra. That's all you can afford, $1 extra or 50 cents. Meanwhile, your executives are earning millions, billions, so where's the justice in that? And that's what happens here in North America, in Canada. And it takes hundreds of people speaking out like me before they change anything. Because the people that they put into those executive positions don't care. They don't care, because if they did, they wouldn't be perpetuating silence and cycles of injustice, and I wouldn't have had problems with my ears like I have now. I wouldn't have gotten high blood pressure. I wouldn't have gotten any of that if they had just had some support put in place, and if their clients had just had some compassion for me as an employee and for hundreds of us. So then what happens is that the U.S. senators find out, and the U.S. senators are not like the MPs here. They're not like the police here, where they say, oh, there's no evidence, or you don't understand what we are saying. They're not. They go after them and they get justice for the people. They truly believe that they are a nation under God. They don't just sing their national anthem. And that's how change comes about. But it takes all of us. It takes hundreds of us speaking out, telling our MPs, telling our Prime Minister, it's fine for you. You spend trillions at your events. You spend millions when you go on your trips, on your catering and all that. And what about us, who have to walk 2 hours in the snow, in these frigid conditions? Don't even have enough to pay our rent, can't get decent paid jobs. And those jobs are available, including in Mark Carney's company. They are available. Executive assistant jobs paying over $65,000 a year. Office manager jobs, receptionist jobs. There are receptionist jobs that pay over $60,000 a year. Not just here, but globally. So that's the injustice that I experience in Canada. And when God calls us to lives of flourishing, when God calls us to lives that are centered on Him, He also calls us to lives where we can have good salaries, where we can have affordability, where we can buy our homes. It's not supposed to be going backwards. And that's what's happening. things are going backwards instead of going forwards. And the guys want to be on the top, the guys want to work, and they want the women to stay at home. Well, we don't want that. And I tell Jamil Javani that all the time because he pushes for the men. I push for the women. And I support the women MPs in this country who push for women to be able to work outside of the home, not just to stay at home and be isolated like me. It's isolating. Every day since COVID, I've been on my own. If I don't go out and knock on my neighbors' doors or go to the church or make an effort to go take a walk to check for help wanted signs, I would be completely alone, and I don't like it. God made us to be social creatures. God made us to be in community. Even today, the weather wasn't that bad here compared to west of Toronto. I went out, I got fish for Lent. I walk. I don't like to just stay inside. And if you just stay inside like that, you can end up getting sick. Because who are you going to talk to? The four walls? Yeah, you can pray, you can talk to God. But you need to see people. You need to go out. You need to be with others. And my grandmother did that in Zimbabwe. She joined the Indian Women's League. She went out. She supported Queen's Club, where my grandfather used to play tennis. She didn't just sit at home like a lump. And then through her, my mother learned. She got my mother to come out and join the Indian Women's League and to take us out and to enroll us in swimming and dancing and all that. It was my grandmother. She pushed for it, for us. So I'm also like that. I don't like having to take handouts from people. I like to work. And there's absolutely no reason I shouldn't get an executive assistant job earning over $65,000 a year. My English is good. I'm a graduate of this country. I've traveled. I've traveled through England. I've traveled in Africa. I've traveled and I've worked on a camp in America. All against the odds. But that's God's grace. And I pray that God is going to open that right door for me with a good salary. If my mother can own a car, why can't I? If my mother can have nice perfumes, why can't I? My mother budgets. She gives me, sometimes she'll send me a lot of money, sometimes she'll send me a little. She budgets. She takes care of her own needs first, and then she helps me. Because she's also got her own expenses. And to be honest with you, I don't like it. It leaves you very bitter because you know that you're capable of working, you've got good skills, you've got good credentials, and yet despite that, you can't get an opportunity globally. It leaves you very bitter. And that's why we have the stories of Moses and the stories of the Israelites, where Moses killed a man because he saw how his people were being treated. And then their story to come into liberation, to come into freedom. So that's what our faith is about for Lent. And Jesus calls us into that freedom, into community. He doesn't want people to be isolated, living in the caves, cutting themselves, being possessed. That's not what Jesus wants. It's not what he wants for me. And he doesn't want me to sit at home unemployed as his disciple and his follower. I can assure you of that. There is no way Jesus wants me to be a lump, sitting at home and taking handouts from the government or being dependent on the government. I've hardly worked in this country because I shine in the workplace and I do better than others and I land up training others. And some people don't like it. Well, you know what? I'm not going to stop shining. I also want to be in those very good paid jobs and earn a very good living. Why should I put my lamp under a bushel? For who? We study to approve ourselves unto the Lord, and we work unto the Lord. So I'm not going to stop. Every day until I get that job and I get that opportunity, I'm going to push for it. I'm not retired. My sister's retired. She wanted to retire. It's good for her. It's not for me. I'm not retiring. And people that are finding it's taking longer to get jobs, we are even more determined. we are pushing our roots deeper into the soil and pushing to look for opportunities, going on the internet every day and making videos like this. I'm not the only one making videos like this because I'm organized, I'm a good communicator, I have a lot of skills to offer. I know how to use Outlook, I know how to use Lotus Notes, I'm up to date with my MS Office skills, I know how to use Teams. I have a lot of good skills to offer. And this Lent, I hope that God is going to open that door for me quickly, because I'm tired of being treated like a pauper. And this has been going on since the time I lost my place. And even that was injustice, because Tangerine should have renewed my mortgage. It's injustice at every level of the society. And they know it. They know it. And people like me are not going to stop pushing for change. And we're not going to accept turncoats that are voted in as NDP or Conservative and get up one morning and say, oh, well, now I'm going to go join Mark Carney. And where's the by-election? What about all the people that voted for you, who you are accountable to? People are not accepting it. And Mark Carney, his government is a laughingstock on the world stage. Only he's happy. Only he's saying he's honored. People are not happy, including me. So I hope this Lent is going to be one where things turn around for me and where things come right for me and things come right for Christians in this country. Because those of us who are faithful to the Lord are not going to be stopped, and we're not going to stop being faithful to Him. Our lives are focused on Him.